In my last video, I discussed the background of Joseph Rosenbaum in great detail. And that video is about an hour long or so. It's too long for most of you. I mean, I have a hard time getting through a full hour of video myself. So I decided to go ahead and spin off part of that video into this one. This is a shorter take that just covers the Wisconsin Right Now's article describing the actual offenses that Joseph Rosenbaum committed in Arizona against 5 children ages 9 through 11. Just as a warning, the descriptions in this video are rather graphic and definitely not for children. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Okay, this is brought to you courtesy of Wisconsin Right Now. Let's take a look at this. These are sort of a watchdog kind of newspaper, but they've been spot on with everything they've done so far on this case. Joseph Rosenbaum, sex offender, criminal complaint from Arizona. Look what we got here. Newly released documents obtained by Wisconsin Right Now from the Pima County, Arizona Clerk of Courts confirm Joseph Rosenbaum was charged by a grand jury with 11 counts of child molestation and inappropriate sexual activity around children, including anal rape. See, the way they describe it elsewhere is sexual contact, but it's a little bit more than that, isn't it? The victims were 5 boys ranging in age from 9 to 11 years old. Wisconsin Right Now has obtained Rosenbaum's entire file regarding the case. However, due to victim privacy and legal issues, we are choosing to only show the criminal complaint at this time. We redacted the names of the victims. No contact with minors under the age of 18 without permission from the court, records say. I think I would have amended that. I think I would have said no contact with minors ever. By the way, it says here, Wisconsin's largest newspaper, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, argued that readers shouldn't get to know Rosenbaum's criminal record. Read our column explaining why they're wrong here, and I have a video on that as well. In my opinion, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel is running interference for Rosenbaum. These are the offenses that landed Rosenbaum 36 on the Wisconsin Sex Offender Registry. And I'll skip ahead here. Because of the self-defense accusations, Wisconsin Right Now has made the decision to tell readers about the criminal histories of the men who were shot. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's hear it. Let the truth arise. What was Rosenbaum's criminal history? He had an open Wisconsin case for misdemeanor bail jumping that was filed on July 30th, 2020. Rosenbaum also had open misdemeanor cases for battery, domestic abuse, and disorderly conduct, domestic abuse. He was on the Wisconsin Sex Offender Registry for an Arizona offense. He no longer appears on it because he's deceased. That's the child molestation case. The 11 charges were amended in a plea deal, and Rosenbaum was convicted of amended counts. According to online court records, Rosenbaum was sentenced to 10 years on December 12, 2002 for sexual contact of a minor, and then sentenced to 2 years, 6 months for sexual contact of a minor related to the same 2002 incident. These are serious charges here. Rosenbaum was convicted on August 8, 2016 for interfering with a monitoring device. He was put on lifetime probation on December 16, 2002. However, the court was asked to revoke his program after he was accused of consuming synthetic cannabinoid and alcohol, failing to participate in sex offender treatment, and having accessed sexually oriented materials deemed inappropriate by the probation officer. I wonder if that is kind of similar to the stuff that his fiancée found on his cell phone. All right, here we go. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to back it up here a little bit. This is graphic. This is disgusting. And If you don't want to hear it, by all means, turn off the video now, okay? But if you have the stomach for it, let's go through it. I really don't want to have to read this. However, hey, we have a young kid who is now being accused of all kinds of crimes and stuff and could go to prison for a long time. So guess what? Sometimes we just have to have the truth. And let's do it. Joseph Rosenbaum, sex offender. 11 counts include, count 1, public sexual indecency to a minor under 15, a class 5 felony. On or about the month of February 2002, whatever, Rosenbaum committed public sexual indecency to a minor by intentionally or knowingly committing an act of sexual contact by masturbating, while, name of the kid removed for obvious reasons, while the kid was present. So basically, Rosenbaum masturbated in front of him. Count 2. That's the least serious of the crimes. Count 2. Sexual conduct with a minor under 15. Class 2 felony. A dangerous crime against children. On or about the 27th day of March 2002, Joseph Don Rosenbaum committed sexual conduct with a minor by intentionally or knowingly engaging in an act of sexual intercourse with the victim by penetrating the victim's anus with his penis. Well, we know what that is. That's just called rape. Count 3. Furnishing obscene or harmful items to minors, a class 4 felony. On or about the 27th day of March 2002, Rosenbaum, with knowledge of the character of the item involved, recklessly furnished, presented, provided, made available, gave, lent, showed, advertised, distributed an item harmful to minors. Maybe he did it all to some minor under 18, to wit, photographs of nude women, including their genitals. Okay, so he gave nudies to some young boys. Count 4. Public sexual indecency to a minor under 15. On or about the 27th day of, okay, I'm getting kind of tired of reading that part, committed public sexual indecency to a minor by intentionally or knowingly committing an act of sexual contact by masturbating while the victim was present. So again, he did it again, masturbated in front of a kid. Count 5. Sexual conduct with a minor under 15, a class 2 felony, a dangerous crime against children. Rosenbaum committed sexual conduct with a minor by intentionally or knowingly engaging in an act of sexual intercourse with a victim, a minor, by penetrating the victim's anus with his penis. So another rape. Count 6. Sexual conduct with a minor under 15, a class 2 felony, a dangerous crime against children. Rosenbaum committed sexual conduct with a minor by intentionally or knowingly engaging in an act of oral sexual contact with a fourth victim, a minor, by inserting his penis into the victim's mouth. So basically, raped a kid orally. Remember now, these are kids 9 to 11 years old. On or about the 27th day, Rosenbaum committed sexual conduct with a minor by intentionally or knowingly engaging in an act of oral sexual contact with another minor, did the same thing again. Okay, see, this is the second count of oral rape. They've got count 8 here, molestation of a child. Basically, he says here, intentionally and knowingly engaging in sexual contact a child under the age of 15 involving the genitals by touching the victim's penis with his hand. Count 9, molestation of a child. Basically the same thing. So this is another count of that. Count 10, molestation of a child, a class 2 felony, committed molestation of a child by intentionally or knowingly engaging in sexual contact with the fifth victim, a child under 15 years of age, involving the genitals by touching the victim's penis with his finger. Count 10, basically the same thing. That's the third count of basically molestation. Count 11, on or about the month of March 2002, Rosenbaum indecently exposed his genitals to a minor under the age of 15. Basically dropped his pants. And so here are the actual documents. I actually had a hold of these at one point. Couldn't find them, but you can read them here. So yeah, pretty extensive list here. The court documents say that Rosenbaum had worked in the fast food industry but was unemployed for 3 years. You know, it seems like those guys that were there that night had a hard time getting jobs. He had a ninth grade education and was from Waco. Glad he wasn't from Oklahoma. That's all I can say. He entered a plea agreement to admitted counts of sexual conduct with a minor in the second degree, a preparatory dangerous crime against children. The other charges were then dismissed, but sex offender registration was required. Rosenbaum's Arizona prison disciplinary report shows a total of 40 infractions. And we mentioned this earlier. We have assault on a staff, possession of drugs, arson, throwing stuff, assault on a staff, possession of a manufactured weapon, probably a handmade knife, assault with a weapon, and disrespect. We asked the Wisconsin Department of Corrections if they had a Joseph Rosenbaum on the registry before, and they said yes. And they were notified he's now deceased. That's why he no longer appears on the registry. See their response to us here. The reason why they're mentioning this is because a lot of the anti-Kyles went on and started crowing that they couldn't find any problems with Joseph Rosenbaum as far as his criminal past was. One of the problems was they were looking at Wisconsin, but they didn't realize he had committed all this stuff in Arizona. And the other one is that he had pulled a lot of this stuff off because he had been killed. Here's his sex offender registration, and that's pretty much the gist of it. So there you have it. 5 children, ages 9 through 11. And who were these children? Well, they were kids living in this place. There were kids living in this place that Joseph Rosenbaum was brought into because somebody felt sorry for him and, unfortunately, trusted him. So now it's up to the jury to decide, do they really believe that Kyle was the primary aggressor that night? Like my video and subscribe to my channel.